Published, 1846 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 4th of July 2018. Updated, 1846 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 4th of July 2018. Lesser men would have crumbled and crawled away after being branded crybaby following their team's humiliation at their home World Cup. Or balked at the prospect of a return to a country where they had a terrifying brush with death after contracting tuberculosis. Thiago Silva is clearly made of sterner stuff, however. The 33-year-old is facing some monumental demons in Russia and still performs at his best. Thiago Silva may have an affinity for tears, but the Brazilian captain is made of very stern stuff. 33-year-old Brazil defender, nicknamed O Monster for his exceptional physical abilities, is back to his best in Russia. While teammate Neymar has been hogging the headlines, mostly for his pathetic injury-feigning antics on the pitch, Silva has been going about his business quietly and efficiently, and has been arguably the best centre-half of the tournament alongside Uruguay's captain Diego Godin. Their fellow South Americans, Brazil have conceded only one goal so far, from a set piece in their opening 1-1 draw with Switzerland. And, in their 4 matches, the Seleção's rivals have managed only 5 shots on target against the 5-time world champions. As he makes what will probably be his final bow in a World Cup, Silva has played a key role in helping Brazil achieve those impressive statistics, anchoring the defense with authority and class. During the 2-0 win against Mexico that secured Brazil a quarter-final place for the 7th consecutive time, for example, he was decisive both in the air and on the ground, blocking several shots and making 2 vital clearances. He will certainly have to be at his best in Friday night's last 8 clash with Belgium when the tournament's joint best defense comes up against its most free-scoring attack in Kazan. This will be his last World Cup with his country and he looks determined to win it for Brazil. It's a huge joy to be having an excellent World Cup and to be growing with every game, said Silva. I'm happy about my performance and the performance of the team. Happiness and joy have not always been so easy to come by for the man from Rio de Janeiro, unfortunately. Silva went through some difficult, soul-searching times after Brazil's 7-1 loss to Germany at the last World Cup. He did not play in that game through suspension, but was harshly criticized and called a crybaby for his emotional outbursts after he was pictured in tears before a penalty shootout against Chile in the last 16. After the tournament, he was stripped of the team's captaincy by new coach Dunga, then left off the regular roster following the 2015 Copa America. He would return from exile in September 2016 for the World Cup qualifiers after being called up by Dunga's successor, Tite. But those professional ups and downs pale in comparison with the ordeal a younger Silva suffered back in 2005 when he spent about 6 months in a Moscow hospital after contracting tuberculosis. With his international career in tatters 4 years ago, Silva is once again Brazil's best defender, regarded at the time as one of the world's most promising young defenders. Silva had been sent on loan from Porto to Dynamo Moscow alongside several teammates. It was probably the worst episode of my life, recalled Silva. It was during a training camp in Portugal that Dr. Yuri Vasilkov, who had traveled along with the team, noticed that Silva had a persistent cough. He had a temperature and we thought it was a simple cold, said Vasilkov in an interview with L'Équipe newspaper this week. I gave him some medication but he did not improve. I was a bit worried and I sent him for exams at the British hospital in Lisbon. The diagnosis was terrible, tuberculosis. It was a shock. Vasilkov believes the diagnosis was so late that Silva was only weeks away from dying. The PSG star was the subject of ridicule in Brazil after his tears against Chile were captured. Silva was brought back to Moscow, where he was hospitalized in a center specializing in tuberculosis treatment. At the time, he did not speak any English or Russian and went through a bout of depression as a result. The cold, the lack of natural light, the fact that I could not speak to anybody. All of this was very difficult to handle, said Silva in an interview with Belgian Sport Foot magazine. After Russian doctors at one point considered removing part of his lungs, Silva survived and made a full recovery. He never played a game for Dynamo, and those painful events are just bad memories now. That would have ended my career. I needed guardian angels to take me away," said Silva. "I was a bit overwhelmed in a friendly we played against Russia this year. It is different for me to play there. Now I hope I can erase that by lifting the World Cup trophy." Anyone who has watched him command the Brazilian defense these last few weeks will have few doubts that it could happen all right. Roberto Martinez's free-flowing Belgium currently stand in his way right now. They were the unstoppable force in their thrilling 3-2 comeback victory over a valiant Japanese side earlier this week. But they are about to come up against the immovable object that is Thiago Silva. Silva hugs goalkeeper Alisson after they qualify for the quarter-finals at the expense of Mexico.